Think gladiators. You probably think Spartacus, right?
Right, the big famous rebellion.
Exactly. But today, we're actually going a bit deeper into the untold stories of gladiators, heroes of the arena. Our mission isn't really about the famous ones this time. It's more about exploring the surprising impact of the lesser-known fighter.
Yeah, the ones who maybe didn't lead armies but were still part of that whole system, how they might have shaped Roman society, maybe in ways we don't expect.
Okay, so stepping back from the icons.
Exactly. I mean, we tend to picture just a few key figures, don't we? But this is really asking us to think about the sheer number of people who fought on that sand.
Thousands upon thousands over the centuries, presumably.
Right. And if we focus on those whose names haven't really echoed down through history, we potentially uncover a much richer picture of the Roman world, you know?
Yeah, let's unpack that a bit. It makes sense there were loads more gladiators than just the famous ones.
Yeah.
But why is digging into these lesser-known individuals so valuable? What do they really tell us?
Well, what's fascinating, I think, is the potential for seeing a broader slice of Roman life.
How so?
Think about it. The really famous gladiators, they often got famous through, incredible wins or maybe leading big events. But the everyday gladiator, they likely came from, a much more diverse set of backgrounds all across the empire.
Yeah.
Their skills might have come from, say, regional fighting styles back home, or their reasons for being there, maybe debt, maybe they were captured in war. It just paints a much more detailed picture, more nuanced.
Right.
Yeah.
Maybe a certain fighting style becoming popular because a bunch of gladiators from one province arrived.
Exactly that kind of thing. Or maybe, how well or poorly different groups of these lesser-known fighters did reflected the social hierarchies outside the arena.
Ah, interesting. Like a microcosm of society.
Precisely. And if you connect that to the bigger picture, it's about seeing how society changes, how culture shifts. It's often driven by lots of ordinary people's experiences, all added up.
Okay.
So these untold stories, maybe they show subtle influences on Roman culture. Could be combat techniques affecting the military, or local admiration for certain gladiatorial traits like courage or discipline.
And that could then sort of seep into the broader culture.
Yeah, potentially.
Their impact beyond just, the bread and circuses. Beyond entertainment, that feels key.
Yeah.
It's easy to just see it as spectacle.
It is easy, yeah.
Ah.
But could these less famous figures have had a different kind of influence?
What are we thinking there?
Well, it raises questions about how influence even works, right? They weren't senators or generals, but they were a constant presence. Their fights, their bravery, even, how they faced death. That could have been a daily touchstone for Roman audiences.
Like a daily drama playing out.
Kind of. Imagine a gladiator known locally for, incredible courage, even when losing. They could become a local legend, embodying ideals that mattered to that specific community.
Right. Not necessarily empire-wide fame, but local significance.
Exactly. A different kind of impact.
So it makes you wonder then, why are these stories mostly untold? Why don't we hear more about them? Is it just that history focuses on the big names, the winners?
That's definitely a big part of it. I think historical records often lean towards, major events, powerful people, the lives of ordinary folks.
Even famous local folks.
Right, even them might not have seemed important enough for the writers of the time to document in detail. Plus, just the sheer number involved. Thousands. Recording every story would be impossible.
Yeah, practical limitations too. It seems to be that by looking past the usual headliners, we get a much richer, more nuanced view of Roman society.
Absolutely. It's about seeing the impact of the many, not just the celebrated few. It really broadens our perspective.
It does. Which brings us, I guess, to our final thought for you listening. Think about the untold stories, maybe in your own life or your own field of interest. What happens when you shift your focus to the less celebrated figures or narratives, the ones usually overlooked?
How might that change your understanding?
Yeah. How could it reshape how you see things right now?
Yeah.
Something to think about.